Hello, everyone. It's Denise at Something Beautiful Handcrafts, and um, hopefully this is a better video than the last one. I just wanted to go ahead and get that one up because it's been like in the queue for about 3 weeks. So here are the barcodes, and they all say Foursquare Microfarm because they were constructed before I decided to do the Something Beautiful Handcrafts. At any rate, here we go. So you know what? To be honest, I can't remember what program I used, but it was just a free barcode generator. It might have even been the Avery. If you don't know, Avery, the company that makes the labels and a ton of other stationery type stuff, has a free program on their website where you can design cards and labels and all that kind of stuff and print it, and things come out in a PDF. So it's very possible that I created these barcodes on the Avery website and printed them business card size. And they're just numbered, and I've numbered them from 1 to maybe it's 150. Yeah, that's what it looks like, 1 to 150. And I'm putting them inside small bags. So let me show you what this looks like. Sorry about the dog stuff. All right, so anyway, um, all of the samples that are maybe a pound or less, some of them maybe 2 pounds, go inside of plastic bags. I want to say about 2 pounds because the two different types of bags that I use, well, three, I should probably say. Of course, the twist tie bread bags, and then the usual zip gallon and 2 gallon bags, and then the really large, I'm trying to think who makes them. I think Ziplock makes them. And it's those really big bags. Let me find one real quick. Okay, so these are the large Ziploc bags, and this seems to be the time the dogs have decided to fight with each other. Um, Most of the time, I get these from the Dollar Tree. There's a small, a medium, or is it medium, large, and extra large, or something like that. So the medium or the small, whatever it is, comes with 2 or 3 in the bag. Then the large comes with 2 in the bag. Then there's like an extra large, and it's just 1 in the bag. And I want to say that the extra large almost fits a pillow. It's a pretty big bag. And for the most part, I use these particular bags to store things that I am going to open frequently. So when I card wool, or I have wool that I am in process of carding, afterwards it will go into like the big bags and they're hanging around, or yarns go into the big bags. All the time there was like a gigantic bag sitting right here. But at any rate, see how I have the wool, and I think this is alpaca. Yeah, this is alpaca, and it's already carded, or at least some of it is. And then there's like the uncarded stuff is in one of the gallon or 2 gallon Ziploc bags. And that's kind of how I move it around. Now, the gallon bags or 2 gallon bags, it kind of depends on how much fiber. Small amounts of fiber go in like quart freezer bags. Then the larger amounts of fiber, and I think I can fit a pound. It was a pound of roving that was in one of the bigger Ziploc bags. And this one that looks like a 2 gallon Ziploc bag, Walmart brand. What's in there? Wash Daylily. Oh, it's Tees Water and Border Luster combination is in there. And then I will take those bags and put them into the vacuum seal bags. And does this one have a tag yet? Yep, this one is already tagged. It is 111. So what I'm doing now is going back through the barcodes, and I am inserting barcodes into things that aren't barcoded using leftover barcodes. So there was a whole section when I was actually doing the barcodes where I brought down pages and was missing. And I was like, whatever, I'll fill them in later. So I'm filling in the pages that I never used. And I am also using the old text for samples that I threw away. So whatever 98 was, I got rid of it. So I'm going to reuse that number. Okay, I had to stop and rough reading. Oh my goodness. Okay, so at any rate, so what happens after? And then she found a squeaky toy. Like, seriously? Okay, so anyway, what happens after that is if they got a barcode, I scan it and make sure I have the right information in the system. And then I put it into the vacuum seal bags, which I got from the Dollar Tree. What I did was I priced everything out and I looked at, how much per each bag would. And I'm not a big Amazon fan, but I checked anyway and decided it was just much easier for me to pick some up, much more cost effective, from the Dollar Tree. And for the most part, if I'm careful and I seal them right, they work just fine. And they're fairly durable because some of these bags have been opened and they're on their second round. So that's pretty good. So in the middle of making the video, Sugar has decided that she needs an out. And when Sugar says she needs an out, you take Sugar out because you don't want a big doggy mess. And the yard is not all that interesting because it is the end of March. And it's just at this point barely warm enough to clean up. The yard is not as big as the house before when I was doing the whole 4-square microfarm thing, but it's much bigger than my parents' house that I moved into around COVID. So it's just a lot more space and it's nice. So I'm back to the chickens, which was actually my mother's idea, which is so funny because she thought I was insane with the 4-square microfarm stuff. So I'm back to the chickens. So I guess we're back to the 4-square microfarm. I'm going to be spending a lot of time this summer talking about my plants. And like I said, just at the moment, it just looks like I'm out in the middle of the country because there's the rooster. He won't be here much longer. So at any rate, this is the greenhouse, which looks terrible because it's March, but I've started putting down the manure, chicken manure, as you can guess, for the plants. And just in case somebody asks me, because I know somebody always does. Yes, it's been aged. I do actually know what I'm doing here. And so I had, that's kale. I actually had stuff growing, overwintering successfully, a lot of cold crops. But what had happened is this Paul Ram vent is absolutely horrible. And I never could get it to sit right, no matter what I did. And so I almost made it, and February blew off and everything froze, except for this lonely kale plant down there. So, oh well. Anyway, sometime soon, because it said that the last frost date was April, which is hard for me to believe because it's usually mid-May here in Cleveland, Ohio, but whatever. I'll have everything all cleaned up, and I will start putting the vegetables out sometime. Actually, I duct taped it closed. With the vent closed, the greenhouse is about 20 degrees warmer than the outside temperature, which pretty much is okay to put the veggies out. And if I remember, when I get back inside the house, I'll show you the veggies I got started in the boiler room. But in the meantime, and actually during all times, this is where the fiber dries. So even when things are growing, I will wash the fiber. Either I'll lay it over top of a tub like this. I do have one of those sweater dryers. I'm going to get another one of those too. And also in this hanging rack right here, I have 3 pounds of Gotland. But that's pretty much what's going on here in the greenhouse. And I am cold. Obviously, not Pepper. Oh, I want to call her Pepper because she reminds me of Pepper. Sugar is not cold. Hey, Shuggy. Hey. Hey, Shuggy. And I'm going to try to get her and Joel, to go back inside the house. Before we go back in, this is the peach tree, and it's been a long, hard winter, but it is budding. I had a big problem with the apple tree. I don't know if you can kind of see the buds on that one, but I thought I was going to fight a losing battle. But there he is. Hee, love you. You know what? And I don't know if it looked a lot like woolly aphids. Woolly aphids always seem to be a problem, and scale. And a lot of that is from the nursery plants that we bring back. And the aphids, I mean, we have diatomaceous earth, the poor things, neem oil to death, all type of insecticidal soap, and those things are just so hard to get rid of. And somehow I had a problem on this tree. Dude, really? And I actually, it had tipped over, and I was like, you know what? Just whatever. If it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it seems to be alive. So someone asked, how well do the dollar store vacuum bags seal? Well, it really depends on how I pack the fiber. When I pack the fiber in these individual plastic bags, they don't really shrink down significantly, of course, because I've restricted the airflow by having all these plastic bags in there. The bags don't condense, and you can't get a good suction because the plastic sucks up into the vent. So, but that's really not a big problem for me. I just want to make them a little smaller and just protect them a little more. Of course, there are ways for me to fix that. I can leave all the bags open and move them away from the hole, which I sometimes do. Sometimes I squeeze them, forcing all the air in one direction, of course, and that makes things better. It just kind of depends. And then when I'm condensing fleeces, whole fleeces, they get their own bags. Of course, they shrink down very, very well. Here are the seedlings. And mostly these ones right here are cold crops, kale, spinach, arugula, broccoli, all those kind of guys. Over here, too, lots of lettuce. There's some early peas starting. And of course, I know someone's going to say you shouldn't have your covers on. They are cracked, so I don't have to worry about any mold. And the temperatures are going to dip down. I think we have one day in the 20s, and then sometime predicted for the middle of the week is something in the 30s. But at the end of this upcoming week, I'm going to go ahead and put these in a greenhouse. They'll be perfectly fine. And this is where I am with the rest of the fleece. This crate right here, or this tub, is pretty much yarn. The yarn has all kind of different numbers because, well, it was different when I was first doing it. But all of the yarn will be packaged in one particular vacuum bag, or as it fits, right? Because what was that? Tunis or whatever it is, was all spun up as a whole fleece. So there's a lot of that yarn. And this is what this looks like. Let's move quickly over here. You can see I've only got half of this painted. I'll get around to that. Anyway, it's all stored under here. And that really is a lot of fleece all compacted into this spot. Make things a lot easier. And that's where I'm going to leave you. When I record again, everything will be completely done, and I'll move on from there. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.